What are the differences between cash basis of accounting and accrual basis of accounting? What they mean exactly? We're gonna cover this one, the differences between them, the advantages and disadvantages of them, and example and practice question in this video. Be with us till the end of the video. This is Milad Akbari from Akbari Education. Welcome to our channel. As I told you, we're gonna cover the differences between cash basis of accounting and accrual basis of accounting. Exactly the differences, the merits and demerits, example and practice question as always. Let's jump what we're gonna cover in this video. The difference, merits and demerits, example and practice question will be the areas we're gonna cover in this video. For the first point, these are the methods of recording the financial transactions and the reporting them. Suppose when I sold something, should I go and record that or should I wait when the cash is received? So two methods exist. One of them will say one thing and another one will say one thing, and they gonna manage the financial system of the company as per that basis. The differences will arise on the timing of when the sales and purchases will be done and when you're gonna receive the cash or you're gonna actually pay the cash for the expenses incurred. But one thing is clear, that after a period of time the result should be the same. Let me clarify that with an example. Suppose I'm following the accrual base of accounting. I sold something on the 1st December 2020, and I gonna receive that cash in 31st December 2021. Then I gonna record that on accrual base of accounting. That's my revenue. I have earned that. I will recognize that. But the company who is following the cash basis will not recognize that, and he will be waiting till next year, 31st January 2021, to consider that as a revenue. That's the difference. But overall, he gonna record this, suppose $10,000 as the income of the company, and the other company which follow the cash basis of accounting will also recognize that he received a revenue of $10,000. So the end result is the same. Suppose a company which has the overall $100,000 during the period. He gonna show that he have $100,000 revenue, but whether he received all the cash at the same time. Other company with the same purpose have income of $100,000, but he didn't receive that $50,000. It's as an account receivable of the company at the year end December 2020. But the end result is here that he will have the $100,000 when he received the cash, and he will have the $100,000 the same when he received the cash. But the timing of reporting that will be different. At the end, they will say they have the same revenue whether the cash is received or no, but when the cash is received, the result will be equal. Let's go to specifically the differences between them. The cash accounting recognizes revenue when the cash has been received. So the cash basis of accounting will say this is my revenue when I actually received that cash in my hand. But in accrual basis of accounting, they don't care about when they're gonna receive the cash. They will only recognize when the basis of recognition has been covered. They have sent the invoice and they have delivered the product or the service or whatsoever. Then they're gonna recognize. Of course, there is a standard international financial reporting standard 15, IFRS 15, which in detail will discuss how an accountant should recognize a revenue, how to recognize, when to recognize, and how to record that. Be with the channel. We're gonna cover that IFRS 15 in detail, but in its time. Let's continue. Recognize the expenses when the cash has been paid under the cash basis of accounting. So under the cash basis of accounting, when I pay actually for the expense, I'm gonna record that. But in accrual base of accounting, this month ended and this expenses belong to this month, then I gonna record whether I pay cash for that or no. Suppose, and on cash base of accounting, after a quarter, 3 months, January, February and March, I gonna pay the 3-month rent at the same time as a $3,000. Then I gonna record it in the cash base of accounting as the rent expense. But accrual base of accounting will split that $3,000 as $1,000 for the January, $1,000 for the February, $1,000 for the month of March, and they're gonna record that $1,000 in the January whether they paid or no. They will record that as a rent expense, and in consideration to that, they will increase the level of their payable that they need to pay. That's why they will come across to end of March and they're gonna pay that account payable back to the supplier of the room or the supplier of the place and as a name of the rent expense, and they will decrease their payable. Third area, based on the law of the country, rules and regulations allowed for the companies, if the taxation is based on the cash basis of accounting, they will pay the taxes only for the income they have received in their hand as a cash. So for the cash received, they will pay the taxes. But if the country follow the accrual base of accounting, they're gonna pay the taxes for the income that they have recognized, even the possibilities there that they will not receive that income for the foreseen period. Maybe after 2 months, suppose I give the example of they will receive on the January, but they need to pay on December the taxes relevant to the revenue they have recognized. The cash base of accounting mostly used by small businesses, by businesses which has lots of retail transactions such as supermarkets, small shops. They're gonna do the cash base of accounting. That's simple for them. But the accrual base of accounting nowadays is used by large companies, large corporations. They have the transactions with big customers. Big customers will come to them, they're gonna sell to them, and they will receive after a period of credit term. And that's it. Let's go to the merits and demerits of cash base of accounting. The best and simple merit of cash base of accounting is that you know your liquidity, you know your cash position, you know how much cash you have, and you will go as per that to spend. You know how much cash you have received during the period. But under the accrual base, you know, they will show how much is the revenue earned. Maybe the cash base is not matching to that. We will come to that. The first one, you know your liquidity and cash position better. No taxes payable on the cash you have not received that. So the cash, the tax will be paid on the day or on the period you're gonna receive the cash for that. And it's of course much more simple, much more easy to understand, because you are recording the revenue on the cash you have actually received. Of course, there are some demerits. One of the most important one is if the company follow the cash base of accounting and they sold something on loan, they don't know what is the level of receivable they're gonna have at the end of the period, or even at that same moment, because they have sold something and they will not recognize any revenue up to the time they receive the cash. So there is no record of account receivable and account payable inside the company. Nowadays, the level of applicability of the cash base of accounting is decreasing, it's declining, and most of the companies, even the public sector, are shifting to the accrual base of accounting. And at the same time, it will not show the clear position of the company. Suppose I have purchased a computer for $5,000 during 2020, then I gonna record that on the cash base of accounting as an expense, as a purchase I did once, and this is the cash outflow to the business. But I will utilize that $5,000 computer during 5 years. They will not show a clear position of how much value of that computer is remain in end of year 2021. That's a big demerit of that. Let's go to the accrual base of accounting. Some merits that's much more applicable now. They will show the accurate status and position and financial reporting of the company. Of course, I gave you the example of a computer. At year end 2021, I know what is my position, how much the value of that computer has been expensed as the depreciation, and how much value of that computer is remaining as the name of net realizable value or net book value of that computer at the end of 2021. It's highly applicable. I told you most of the countries, public sector and private sector, are shifting toward that. Now it's the modern used system of accounting. Even most of accounting information systems are shifting toward that, and they use the accrual base of accounting. So that's much more applicable now, highly applicable now. Of course, when it's more applicable, we have more standards for that, and the standards are much more up to date to the system of the world and what's going on in the world. You know, there are recent changes such as IFRS 16, which are the modern changes, and there are IFRS which show you how to do that. So it's much more standardized than the cash basis of accounting. Of course, some demerits exist. The easiest one and the important one is that revenue report or profit report is not matching your bank account. You showed that you have $5,000 profit during this period. Is this amount available in your bank account? On the cash base, you will report the profit which is available, which is the cash base, which is the actual amount inside your bank account. But that's not the case of accrual base of accounting. So the profit or revenue you are recording and reporting is not matching with the cash available inside your bank account. And if the taxes are paid based on the accrual base of accounting, the biggest demerit is here that you're gonna pay the tax on the revenue which you have not received the cash for. So for the cash you have not received, you're gonna pay the taxes for the government. And the last point, it's a bit complicated when there are more standards, when it's dealing with the up-to-date basis of systems, accountings, and what's going on in the world, then of course it's complicated. It's gonna deal with depreciations, it's gonna deal with accrual and some prepayments and unearned revenues, dealing with lots of areas which is complicated. Be with us with this channel. We're gonna cover all these areas in its time, but of course it's complicated but more accurate as a merit of that. Let's have an example. Suppose we sent an invoice to customer for $1,000 for the work done during this month. On the cash base of accounting, if the cash is received, okay, we're gonna record that. If the cash is not received, only we have sent the invoice, then it will not be recognized and it will not be recorded. But for the accrual base of accounting, we are going to record that because we have done the work and we have sent the invoice to the customer. That's why we're gonna record that $1,000 as a revenue of the business. Same, received bill from supplier for $800 for subcontractor did the work this month. And there is a subcontractor who provided some job for us. We're gonna record that, whether we pay the cash or not. We're gonna recognize that. We're gonna match that with the revenue it earned. That's under accrual base of accounting. But cash base of accounting gonna consider that when actually they paid for that purchase. And at the moment we receive cash from the customer for $500. Then under cash basis of accounting, we gonna record that as a revenue, actual revenue. But under accrual basis of accounting, if that's for the service provided during the period or the product provided during the period, then they're gonna record that as a revenue. But there is increase in revenue and there is increase in on cash at the same time. But suppose I did not receive any amount for that, but I gonna receive next month. Then on that month that I have provided that service and product and goods, I gonna record that as a revenue because I have recognized that under accrual basis of accounting. But when I receive the actual cash for that, I gonna record that my receivable decrease and my level of cash increase. For the same case, paid cash to the supplier for $700 under cash basis of accounting, I paid that cash. Then I gonna record as expense. But in accrual basis of accounting, if the service is delivered to me at the same period, I gonna record this is my expenditure and this is the cash I have paid for that. But the case is different when you receive the service on a previous period. Now you are paying for that. You have already recorded that as expense during that period. In this period, you will decrease your payable because you are paying it now. We have, as always, we have some practice questions. The first one is under the accrual basis of accounting, revenues are reported in the accounting period when under the accrual basis of accounting. Recommend pause the video, think of that, come with the answer. But to continue, we have the options cash is received under accrual basis of accounting, revenue is reported, and cash is received. No, I don't think so. Service or goods have been delivered. This is the case. You're gonna recognize the revenue when the goods or service is delivered fully. And the third one, end of the month has arrived. No. Customers pays. No. So the right answer is option 2. Let's go to the next one. Reporting income when the cash is received and the expenses when the cash is paid is called what? Pause the video, think of that, review the answers and come back. But to continue, accrual basis of accounting, no, that's different. We have already studied that. You can review the video once again. Cash basis of accounting, of course, they're gonna record the revenue when the cash is received and they're gonna record the expense when the cash is actually paid. Fiscal period and trial balance are totally different. So thank you so much for being with us till end of the video. I wish you have learned these two different methods. One thing I'm requesting you is to subscribe to our channel, press the notification button. We're gonna have weekly videos on entrepreneurship, on success, motivation, and different areas which is required for the business, whether accounting, auditing, cost accounting, whatsoever. It will be covered on weekly videos. So important than that, share this with your friend. Let's grow all together. Thank you.